Thank you. Wonderful. Appreciate that. You know, we've been having guest speakers today, and you probably, those of you that come or those of you that view us, remotely, will recognize this person. She comes on a regular basis with her family. I want to introduce Angela Sholough, who has a bit of a story for us about CCAP and how they helped give her a hand up. CCAP's one of the I don't want to call it sponsors, but certainly one of the groups that we are supporting, as with many, through our outreach program. So thank you.
Thank you, Brad. I'm going to tell a little story. So I have it typed up here on my phone. I'm just making sure everybody can hear me. Okay. It seems like it was only yesterday when everything was different for me and my family. It actually wasn't yesterday. It was about 12 years ago. We lived in a small income-based HUD housing apartment in Martinsburg. There were many months that food would run low and even go down to nothing. I remember a place I had heard about from some people I knew. It was a place that would supply food for people who needed help. CCAP was the name of the place. I remember back then they would allow you to visit to receive food once every couple months. Now it's every month. They would ask my name and how many in my family. They would fill a box with items like pasta, cereal, peanut butter, and many other items. They would give you boxed milk and loaves of bread. They would give meat like a round ham or bags of chicken legs. They would even, at the end, let us pick a dessert item, like muffins or loaf cakes. All of the items that many of us take for granted. I would drive home with my box of goodies in the back, and I was happy to know I would be able to put them away in the cabinet. It really felt nice to have peanut butter to put on bread and ham to cook. That box of food means a whole lot when you have so little in your kitchen, as it does for many less fortunate people. I can look back and see where God has provided for us in every chapter of our life. I would never have any extra money to give to the church or even money to spend on myself. I never imagined being able to tithe or give. I needed so much help myself. Years went by, and I would give here and there. Life was getting better bit by bit. We had food and could even buy things we wanted. I remember one week when I had first decided to tithe the correct amount. Turns out, when I finally decided to do so, I was on my last $50. I put $40 in the collection plate. I knew what that meant for me, but I was doing the right thing finally, and it felt right. I remember a couple days later, I was empty on cash, but everything was okay. I do believe I needed a few necessities. I had checked the mail and noticed a check from my car insurance company with a letter that said I had been chosen for a random review, which uncovered that they had been overcharging me for months. And the check amount was $670. I remember thinking, you've got to be kidding me. So on my way to work, I stopped at the bank to deposit the check. I remember thinking it's probably going to take a few days to clear, or at least one day. I told the clerk, it will be a couple days, right? She said, it'll be a day normally. I was pleased enough with her response, but then she spoke out again and said, actually, we're affiliated with them, and it will be available immediately. Wow, God had taken care of me because I trusted him. I remember the lack in the past, but I always felt God's presence, and I knew he was with me. I somehow still felt blessed, more than enough. What a phrase. It explains what I have experienced in my life. 2 months after the time of my decision to tithe correctly, I had settled on buying my first house, a house I had prayed every night for 5 years. I wonder why the doors all came open after I decided to be faithful with my giving. We don't give to receive, and miracles don't always happen rapidly or in a way that it has at times for me, and I'm sure many others. I know that God does reward obedience. He who is faithful in little will also be faithful in much. My mom always told me, you can never outgive God. I am so blessed to be a part of Trinity and remember those past moments of humble beginnings. Now when I put away my groceries, I need to make room to fit everything because I have more than enough. Galatians 6:9, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Thank you.